Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Sunday, March 23rd. All right, so what are we going to talk about today? Well, today is a Sunday sermon, right? So I thought we'd have a little bit of a higher power, God, what have you, in this video. But it's more talking about being content. And what does content really mean? So hang tight. Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, if you didn't already know it, and yes, this is the weekend. March 23rd, 2025. So what are we talking about today about being content? What does being content really mean? What I can tell you is that most of my life I spent not being fulfilled. There was something missing all the time. I was never content at anything. It was always push, 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 drive, drive, drive. I gotta have more of X, Y, and Z, right? I was never content. I always wanted more. And I never could understand when I would talk with people and they would say, Eric, knock yourself out, but we're content. What the hell does that word even mean? Content. But as I started getting older, see, I've always had a faith. Not a super strong faith, but I've always had a faith in God. We've had our ins and outs over the years. More ins than outs, which is good. But as I've gotten older, I understand more about what people were telling me when they said they were content. And let's see if you can relate. You know, when it comes to your life, if things are going okay with the people you love, then you don't have to put very much focus on that, right? See, when I run business, when I do business, I always have to have certain things, certain ducks in a row, okay? So the first duck has always been my family. Is everything going okay in my family? Are all my family members okay and doing okay? And if I can check that box, then I can go to the next level and the next level and the next level, right? But if there's something going on that requires, it's a crisis point within the family, it screws everything else up, right? So being content could be that all your ducks are in a row, okay? Or is it? Content is kind of hard to describe to a lot of people because it's going to vary from one person to the next. But I'm at the point of where I don't feel that I need to prove anything to anybody. Only myself and God. And when you get to that point, you're not as driven as what I used to be. Because where I used to get my energy and my drive was from doing things that people said I couldn't do or were unattainable. Don't even try. That was my strength. That was my drive. But when I got to the end, it was like, what now? And over my lifetime, I've had a lot of what nows that I've achieved. I can name so many different businesses that I started that were successful. But were they? Because when I got to a certain point where I got bored with them, I moved on. When in actuality, the only two things I did super right was both of my kids. That will be my legacy. And the way that they're raising their kids and how their kids are turning out. Again, my legacy. I don't need to be put up on some pedestal for everybody to admire. I don't want to be. I want to be among everybody. I'm not better than anybody else, but I'm no worse off. I'm at the point where I'm okay just fitting in, being me. Not something else that's not me, me. And what I can tell you, you guys know, I'm not a Bible pumping, preaching person. And I believe each to their own. But I found contentment when I got tired of chasing fires. It's like an arsonist out putting fires out, and I'm trying to put out fires. I get one almost put out and another one would start over here, right? And that's how most of my life can be described, is Eric was chasing fires all over. He'd get one almost put out and then another one would start. But when I started having a stronger faith with God, of where, a lot of people will say he got a stronger faith once he survived the quadruple heart bypass. And that's simply not the case. I had a stronger faith before. And has it intensified my faith? Not so much. It's given me more questions of why I'm still here, and why other people that I think are more deserving aren't getting that second chance. So yeah, I still have a strong faith. I know that he wants me to, either I have to teach something that has been yet to be taught, or I need to learn something that I've yet to learn. One or both. I don't know. I'm just kind of going along with his bigger plan. And it may be just talking with you guys. There's no better feeling in life to know that there's somebody always standing by your side and will be there no matter what. That you're not going to drop out of existence with God with you. You're not going to feel alone. You're not going to feel desperate. You're not going to feel where you feel that nobody understands you. Because he does. He does. He's there with you all the time. He knows your struggles. He knows what you're going through. More so than yourself. And that's what I find, is that he knows more about me than me. He created me, so why wouldn't he? This is not to knock anybody, to each their own. But I know some people that feel like if they go to church once a week and they confess their sins, it gives them a clean slate to go out and do it all over again. And I'm like, what? See, I've made a lot of mistakes in life, and I'll be the first one to admit it. First one. Am I a perfect person? About the farthest thing that you can be. I am very imperfect. I'm quirky as hell. But what I can tell you is, if you have me for a friend, you'll have one of the closest friends you'll ever have. If you're part of my family, you will get the hugs. And you'll get the I love you at night before we all go to bed. I asked my granddaughter, my daughter, last week, because before I head to bed at night, I text both of them. Love you. And I asked them, I said, are you guys getting sick and tired of me telling you I love you? And they both cued just about the same time. And that was never. We will never stop wanting you to tell us that you love us. Because we almost lost you. And we may have lost that point of where we didn't get to hear it. So you can't say it enough, Dad and Papa. Think about that when it comes to your own family. If you haven't done it, try it. Now, this is probably going to happen if you're not used to telling the people you love that you love them. They're probably going to think you're terminally ill with cancer. Like, oh my God, there must be something terrible going on. He said, I love you. They want to hear it. Even if they don't say it, they secretly want to hear. Even if it's a text, I love you. They want to hear it. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody. And everybody loves to hear it. But what's that got to do with contentment and God? It has everything to do with it. It's kind of like a full circle. Let's define what content is, the best that I know how. Being content for me means I don't have anxieties. I don't have the need or feel the need to have to rush and do things. I can set my own pace. That the whole world is okay. Even with its flaws, it's okay. Because you're okay and I'm okay with our flaws. That's what makes us unique. If you don't have that connection with someone greater than yourself, then you tend to think that it doesn't matter what you say or do. See, the thing with me and God is I know that there's nothing I can lie to him about because he sees all. So why even try? And the other thing, the relationship I have with God and that I tell others, he's not going to give you material things. I've had friends tell me, look, Eric, we tried God, but we didn't get what we asked for. I said, what did you ask for? Well, at one time we asked for a new house, and then the other time we needed money to buy a car. Whoa. What God are you talking to? Because if you start getting all that stuff, it may be the devil you're talking to, not God. And they're like, what do you mean? God will not do it for you. He will help you carry the load, but he's not going to carry it for you. You can look to him for guidance. You can look to him for direction. But don't expect God to do it for you. When I went for my bachelor's degree, God was there helping me, but he wouldn't do it for me. I had to do that achievement so that I could say, I accomplished something. I have a degree. And it doesn't mean that I'm any better than anybody else because I got a degree. It means it was a personal achievement for me. It was something that I wanted to do. And I didn't care either way until I got into my mid to late 30s. And I, to be honest with you, I did it to prove to my kids, you're never too late to go back if you decide that's the route you want to go. Because both my kids decided they really didn't want it. And they went right to work, right out of high school. And they haven't looked back. And they have a lot of personal achievements. If you ask God for guidance or strength to help you accomplish something, then you're probably going to get some help with guidance. But he's not going to do the heavy lifting for you. Because God knows that if we do it, it gives us a personal satisfaction of saying we accomplished something. If we had somebody doing everything for us, what's our purpose? What is our purpose? So I'm going to start wrapping this up. But contentment, you'll know when you get to that point. And that is, you don't feel the need to go out and do things to prove anything to anybody else. It's not that you don't go out and try to achieve more. It's just you don't need that other person's acknowledgement that what you're doing is okay. You aren't looking for that outside of telling you how good you are, because you already know you're good enough. Being good enough does not mean you have millions of dollars or you're living on the streets. It's something greater than that can't be measured in wealth and dollars. So on that note, you guys have a great Sunday. Leave in the comments what you think contentment is. Amo, what's contentment? You seem to be very content. Jason, what's contentment? You're very content at what you're doing. How do you define it? How do you define the feeling we have? But I don't know about you guys, but I know I've had God on my side. Because my golden rule is God takes care of fools and idiots, so I'm double covered. You guys have a great day.